Pickle, let's go to the hotline. We're pleased to be joined by the Hall of Famer, the host of the Craig Way Show down there on AM 1300 The Zone, and my co-host on High School Scoreboard Live on Bally Sports Southwest. It's our friend Craig Way. Mr. Way, how are you?
I'm doing wonderfully on this somewhat chilly but otherwise really cool day. Yes. How about you guys?
We're doing great as we round third and head for home on the regular season of the Texas high school football season. Okay, I intentionally did not text you. We've been texting nonstop for like 4 days, which is not uncommon. But I intentionally didn't ask you this because I wanted to get the genuine conversation and the genuine response. Craig Way, if you had a vote on the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas high school football rankings, who would get your number one pick in Class 6A? Who would get your number one ranking?
See, this is a week I'm glad I'm not on the panel, you know? And because I used to vote on the old school AP poll, and there'd be weeks like this where you had to, especially going into week 10. If I had a vote at this point, I probably would put North Shore number one.
Okay. Is it just, you would just say, I presume you would say just the strength of the resume would trump what is probably, I think we can agree, is the single most impressive data point that we saw with DeSoto's win over Duncanville?
Yeah, it is. I'm going to go the old NCAA basketball tournament phrase, body of work. Mm-hmm. And also because, and maybe this makes it even all the more impressive, DeSoto isn't completely healthy. But to do that. Also, I don't know how much you can put into this. Maybe there's just a little bit of a data point that goes into the fact that they stood around and had lightning delay and finally decided we're gonna forget about tonight and come back tomorrow and play. You don't know what kind of effect it might have on a team. It's not an excuse for Duncanville, certainly, which is certainly capable still of winning the 6A D1 state championship. But I just think when all the smoke is cleared, when all is said, and this is also, Tep, when it gets to the deal, and we only have to deal with it one more week this week because it's going to divide and it's going to get in the playoffs, and DeSoto in one bracket and North Shore and Duncanville in the other bracket are going to go their merry way, and we'll see how it ultimately wraps up. But in a combined deal, yeah, I'd probably give just the slight edge to North Shore.
So we're now into week 11, which means that our attention, this is one of the weeks where our attention turns maybe off of the top line games and onto teams that we otherwise wouldn't have paid attention to. I don't want to say paid attention to, but wouldn't have spotlighted. For example, Gainesville and Crum are playing a critical game for a playoff spot. Those are the types of games that now kind of take center stage in week 11. Are there any individual districts that you are laser focused on right now, and you want to see to their logical end this particular week?
And by that you're talking about districts where we're still looking at things are kind of up and down, or just playing for a playoff spot, that sort of thing.
Either way, whatever district is currently catching your fancy.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about 25-6A all season long, and down here. And I spoke with Anthony Wood at Round Rock Westwood, and he sent me a chart that I forwarded to you guys, and it looks like a periodic table of the elements. When you see all the permutations that could happen, there could be a four-way tie in that district for second place, which would then leave Westwood out on a round-robin tiebreaker that does not involve point differential, but head-to-head wins. And if that happens, then we're right back to talking about Vanderbilt going the D1 route instead of D2. So that's one of the things certainly that comes to mind. That's one of the ones that definitely comes to mind. And then one of the other ones that comes to mind is kind of neighboring, but down a classification, is 11-580-2, where you insert the movie guy's voice here. In a world where 7 teams all still have a mathematical shot to get in, you could have, and in visiting with Josh Mann, the head coach at Leander Rouse, they could wind up being as high as number 2 or completely out of it. So those are the ones, those fascinating. And then there's all sorts of a really good, I love the win and you're in, lose and you go home scenario. Lockhart and Kerrville Tivy are one of those. And I think what's the computer has that as a 1 point separation between those two. And then this wonderful story about the Language Arts and Science Academy. We know them as LASA in Austin, the LASA Raptors, playing Travis in a win and go home, and the computer's liking that as being a very close game. So, those types of stories are the ones that really catch my eye for sure.
Craig Way, the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer, join us here on Texas Football Today. Get involved with the conversation, hashtag TF Today. All right, Craig, we'll do this one last time in the regular season. I will give you, this time I'm going to stay away from the kind of win and in games, those types of things, the Gainesville crumbs of the world. And I'll do it normally, which is just like the high-level games, the games that, the biggest games in the state. Which one of these are you teleporting to this weekend? Are you going to Melissa for a matchup between Lovejoy and Melissa? Are you going to Timpson for one of only 2 matchups of unbeatens in the state as Garrison visits Timpson? Or are you going to East Texas, another game in East Texas, I should say, as Chapel Hill welcomes in Kilgore? Which of those 3 games would you be teleporting to this week?
All of them. Wonderful games. They're all tremendous games. I probably, because I have a feeling it has a chance to be something special. Give me Melissa Lovejoy. I would probably think that might be something really, really good. Now, Garrison has something to prove, and we'll see if they're able to prove it against the number 1 team in the state. So that's something. And then what is it we like to use? Slobber knocker, rock fight, all those kinds of terms. I know I've thrown you off with my use of the term taffy pull with regard to Kilgore and Chapel Hill, but that strikes me as that kind of game itself. They're all 3 really good. If I'm picking one to a 10, and it can only be a 1, it's probably going to be Lovejoy against Melissa.
He's Craig Way. He's the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. You can hear him on the Craig Way Show, 2 to 4 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone, and you can see him on Bally Sports Southwest Friday night on High School Scoreboard Live alongside Aaron Hardigan and myself. Craig, appreciate your time, my friend, and I will talk to you a little later today.
Hashtag win or go home.
That's exactly right.
Bye, Craig.
There he goes.
See ya.
Speaking in hashtags, our Hall of Famer, Craig Way.
This is exactly why he is a Hall of Famer.
That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, guys. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. We appreciate his time, as always. And that's interesting. That's interesting that he went with North Shore. Like I said, and we put up a video on TexasFootball.com about this and on YouTube of Step and I kind of debating it. I think there's I think if you want to say DeSoto's the number 1 team in the state,
yeah, go for it.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. We went with North Shore. It's kind of the consensus we came to. But I think that's an entirely reasonable opinion. But anyway, we appreciate Craig Way's time.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.